Obama promised to have the most transparent administration in the history of United States
now
politics and
I
presidencies.
can hear a few Democrats mumbling, well, Bush, no, Bush isn't president.
Right.
And Bush didn't make promises to be transparent.
Right.
I'm holding people accountable to their own words, not to Bush's words. I don't care what Clinton did. I don't care what Reagan did.
Right.
They're not our presidents right now. The current president promised transparency.
Right.
And that everything would be wide open to the American people.
Because that's an excellent point. I'm glad you brought that up. Is that at the end of the day, more than anything else, you have to remember that it doesn't matter who started it, who is president now, and what is the promise? What are the promises that they campaigned on? What are they doing now?
Free healthcare.
Is the only thing that he's done
Free
that he
gas.
campaigned on, which is a obvious complete disaster.
He takes care of me. I mean, if I vote for him, he's going to take care of
He's
me.
gonna
I don't
give
got to
me
worry
free
about paying
stuff.
my mortgage.
I'm going to get my mortgage.
I don't worry about filling
paid
my
for.
gas tank.
Come on, man.
I was on. I wanted to see it happen. But
I
it
was.
didn't.
I saw this article on Infowars.
But you know what Bush did? Sorry.
No, go ahead, please.
No, that was a lie. I was pretending to be a Democrat for a moment. Or a liberal, whatever.
I love it. That's good.
So this article.
This article I came across on Infowars. You sold out your nation. A scathing letter to President Obama. What you actually said to the citizens of this great nation is that you are the imperial king and you don't care what we, the people, want.
By Carmen Sevilla.
Ooh.
November
Ouch.
23rd, 2014. This week, you gave a beautiful speech to the American people. And let me be clear. When I say the American people, I mean all legal citizens of the United States, regardless of their birth country. The speech was full of love and emotion. It would have been brilliant if you hadn't delivered it while holding a gun to the country's head. What you actually said to the citizens of this great nation is that you are the imperial king and you don't care what we, the people, want. The actions you are taking amounts to amnesty without the consent of our legally elected representatives in Congress, while claiming it's for all the right reasons. After all, who would want to tear apart families? Unfortunately, Mr. President, I don't believe your intentions are sincere. You have taken action prior to the new Congress being sworn in. You failed to mention that you had 2 years to get whatever you wanted from Congress, but you didn't act. You waited until after midterm elections because you knew how unpopular it would be. Mr. President, you talk about the House not allowing a simple yes or no vote, but you say nary a word about your commandant, Harry Reid, who wouldn't allow any votes in the Senate that would put you on the hot seat. Votes on important issues like the Keystone Pipeline, for instance. Your speech was disingenuous, but you know that the majority of Americans are unaware of the truth. Like your friend, Jonathan Gruber, you believe the American voter is stupid and they're not going to get it. However, there are those of us who will fight for this nation. There are citizens who will fight for our Constitution, those who will not lie down any longer. This is where the line is drawn, Mr. President. You have usurped the law and the land too many times. You, in fact, have said many times that you could not legally act in this manner because you are not an emperor. So what changed? Are you the emperor now? Most disappointing is that you slapped legal immigrants in the face. You looked in the eyes of all those who followed the law and did the things the right way, and you called them suckers. You sold out your nation for political gain and to provoke Republicans into committing harikiri. It was done for all the wrong reasons, and you sold it to the American people as a noble action. Mr. President, you ought to be ashamed of yourself, but unfortunately, you don't have enough integrity to feel shame.
Oh, snap. Ouch. I felt that one. Jesus. My God.
Is our only hope, because this ain't coming from anywhere else.
Scathing indeed. Wow. So, yeah. I mean, I don't even... I think I would lack the ability to put much of a finer point on that.
No, she's right, because if you did things the legal way, like my family came through Ellis Island from Sweden and Ireland.
Right.
And they did things the legal way. They weren't granted any special privileges. They went to work straight way, found jobs, and it's a slap in the face to the people that did it the legal way.
Amen.
And I'm not saying to be cruel to people, but the problems that we face in America now are mainly by not upholding the laws that exist.
Right.
We don't need new laws. We need to enforce the laws that exist. You can't invite everybody into your bedroom. Eventually, you're going to catch a disease. Why not just screen the people that you're going to invite into your bedroom and find out, do they have HIV? Do they have STDs? Are they healthy? Do they have a job? Are they, productive to the society? And yes, I'm using an analogy, but that's what it's like.
Well, I mean, it's a good analogy.
Thank you.
It's a good analogy, and it's a good analogy because I heard another analogy that was also excellent, kind of along the same lines, but different. Mm-hmm. I don't remember where I heard it. I want to say it was. It could have been you because you're a genius, Iggy. But it could have been.
IGGY.
It could have also been InfoWars. I'm not sure. But either way, it doesn't matter because we're all in this together. Just it doesn't matter where it comes from. But they were pointing out what Pelosi had said when this whole debacle had started, and she was saying that, if I could, I would take all of these illegals and I would bring them into my house. But I can't. Obviously, I can't. And she said she can't because for very, very practical reasons.
Yeah, she'll get fired.
Because she'd go. Well, no, because she'd be bankrupt. Obviously, her house is only so big. She only has so much money. There's only so much she can do for people for illegal immigrants that would come into her house.
Now, I have an interesting twist. Wasn't it? What was the name of the lady from Alaska? The running for vice president.
Oh, Palin.
Yeah, wasn't she being reprimanded for having at some point in her career a woman who worked in her house who was illegal, but she didn't know? So why the switcheroo, Democrats?
Right.
Why the switcheroo,
yeah,
liberals?
Absolutely. And I'm no fan of Palin. She's obviously a nitwit, but that's an excellent point. Is that
she didn't do anything wrong?
Right. She didn't do.
As a matter of fact, she got rid of her after she realized
she was a better person than most Democrats because she at least took this rather than put the burden on the taxpayer. She took this illegal immigrant into her own house and made sure that she
and I'm
earned
so
a living.
Confused. If that bothered the Democrats, why is it okay if the current Big O does it himself? It's all are you making up the rules as you go along?
Right. Well, yeah. It was called selective enforcement. It's selective enforcement, just like everything else in this country. It's okay for this group to do it, but it's not okay for you. It's illegal for this group to do it, but it's not okay for you. It's like that thing that I posted on Facebook that you liked earlier, when it said that if we acted how the government acted, then we would be arrested.
Yeah, we'd be in prison for life.
Right. Yeah. It's selective enforcement. This group can, but you can't, and you can't right now because it doesn't suit my agenda. You see what I'm saying? And that brings me to the next point, which is that what people have to realize and understand at the end of the day is that this whole amnesty thing has nothing to do with human rights. It has nothing to do with Obama loving those poor immigrants. I love you guys so much. I want to make sure that you have food and water and shelter and schools to go to and
no mortgage
all this wonderful free stuff because I love you so much. Bullcrap. That was so hard to not say the real thing.
But it was the right thing to do.
It's not true. It is not true. He is a liar. He is lying to you. He does not love you. He's letting you in because
he wants your vote.
Right, he wants your vote. That's the simplest way to put it. Right now, the American people, unfortunately, the way that they did it was not correct in my view. However, they did send a message that they right now aren't buying the status quo. They sent a message to politicians during the midterms saying that we don't believe in the status quo and the lies anymore from the current administration and everyone connected therein. The problem is that they elected Republicans.
Yeah, don't fall for that.
Right.
Seriously.
But that's not my point. My point is that they sent a message,
I'm gonna make
and
a point.
so the Democrats kind of got that message. So now they're doing, and they were expecting to get that message. That's the biggest thing to realize here is that they were expecting to get that message. They knew that everybody was waking up. So you know what we're gonna do? You know what magic wrapper we're gonna pull out of our hat? Amnesty, because you know what? Screw you guys that are already here, that live here, that were born here. Screw you guys. I don't need your votes. If I legalize 5 million illegal immigrants, as well as those who have such big egos that they can't accept that what everybody said about me was right, so they're still going to back my play regardless. Those two groups combined are going to give me enough to push the Democrats over to the next level in 2016. I don't need you. I don't need your vote. I understand that I was the carrot on the stick, and I tricked you, and you caught on to the trick, so you're not going to vote for me or for my group, for my party in 2016. So that's okay. I don't need you anyway, because you know why? I'm going to legalize 5 million immigrants in the country who are going to guarantee vote Democrat, as well as all the other people who are still towing the party line, even though I was caught blatantly lying over and over and over again.
Warning.
I'm good.
Warning.
I'm good. I don't need you.
Democrat, if you go to work, you will get taxed, and you'll understand what we talk about. Every time you work and you have $500 paycheck and it dwindles down to $320.
Understand that your boy doesn't need you. Understand that your boy doesn't need you. He never cared about you in the first place. You bought into the dream. You were tricked. Be a grown-up. Own it. And let's move on and do something different. That doesn't mean vote Republican, because you won't be doing anything different if you vote Republican. It'll still be the same old thing, just a different face. More than likely, it'll be a white face.
Let me tell you, corporations have both parties in their pockets. And so whether you're Democrat or Republican, there's major corporations and major players with lots and lots of money to throw at the people to buy those people out. So it doesn't matter if you vote one way or the other in the sense of Republican and Democrat.
Right.
Right now, we do push libertarian, and I will say this until my face turns blue. Our name will be hijacked once it catches on. Just like the Tea Party was hijacked from its grassroots movements and then hijacked by bad people with bad intentions who were like, yeah, I'm a Tea Party guy, and they have ulterior motives. The same thing is going to happen to our name. So it's very important that you wake up and review who you're inviting into your bedroom. Do not spread your legs easily.
Right. Amen. Absolutely. And don't fall into the trap of voting with a letter next to that person's name, whether it's an R, a D, or even an L.
Yes.
It's important to look at least minimally.
Know them intimately.
Right.
See their track record.
Exactly.
Ron
what
Paul.
have they voted on? What
Who
has
is
been
Ron
the best?
Paul?
Right.
He's a doctor. What has he done with his life?
Right.
Heal people.
Right.
What
What's
does he
been his
believe
track
in?
record?
Why does he believe in?
What has he talked about? Absolutely.
Listen.
Read his books. Follow his son Rand. Personally, I'll probably be voting for Rand Paul.
I'll vote for
2016.
Rand. I'm going to vote twice. my second name is Mickey Mouse, by the way. I'm going to have to go to the funeral home and see who died recently and use their name too. Look, I learned a few things from Obama. Give the guy credit. Oh no, they agree.
I had to find somewhere to slide that in. But yeah, and look, it's a lot to expect of people to
do the right thing,
to demand to
Sorry,
demand that they research and look into all these things.
It is their future though, and
yes,
so they better look into it.
Right. But what I'm saying is that unfortunately, because the way that the system is set up now, it's a lot to ask, and honestly, they shouldn't have to. Right now, they do have to. Don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying don't. Right now, you do have to. You have no choice. But you shouldn't have to, because especially now, because they've made it so convoluted and so difficult, so complex, so much more than it needs to be. Absolutely. They don't want you to look at it.
How does a community organizer become the leader of the free world, get a Nobel Peace Prize, and blow Syrian children to smithereens? None of it makes sense. Mm-hmm. Is anyone paying attention? Now cue in the crickets. And it's not funny because it's true. It sucks.
Right. It's sad. It's a sad state of affairs. Yeah, man. It's really kind of depressing.
Dude, I care because one day I don't want it to be your children.
Right.
Any of our listeners, I don't care if you're liberal, I don't care if you're Democrat, who you are. It's not right. It doesn't matter what label you put on. You don't vote for that stuff.
Right.
Think about it.
Right.
What if it's you? What if it's your children? What if it's your nation?
Right. And going back to the point that Joe was making here, and I look, I would never espouse to not vote. I did briefly, I'll be honest, just because I became so disillusioned and disenfranchised. But look, just like with the point that you were making, where we're pretty much convinced that at some point, especially as they continue to gain ground